Well, good morning. So Monday's video, I think that was just Monday. It sort of ended abruptly. I just sort of stopped filming, I guess, that day. Anyway, here we go. It's just a couple days later, and there is more meat filling up for our freezer. Warren and Peter are out here.
I was going to pluck it, but then the skin tore, and I said, you know what, I'm just going to breast it and take the legs and thighs.
All right, so yeah, our early morning turkey, which was, yeah, this will be nice. Now we actually still have Peter's turkey in the freezer.
Good.
From spring, so.
Well, we got our Thanksgiving turkey now.
Yep, we'll have plenty of turkey for Thanksgiving.
And I found a BB.
This
yep,
is a pretty
little
small
tiny
one,
BB.
This is a young of the year.
Good. That means it's going to be tender.
Yeah, you always say shoot small ones.
I do, because the wild turkeys sometimes can get a little tough. Well, I mean, when you're comparing it to a butterball.
Yeah. The breast meat looks like a big partridge, really. It's a small bird.
No, that doesn't look like a big partridge. That
well,
looks, I mean, that looks like a big chicken breast, actually. That's what I would say.
That's more or less all this is a big chicken.
Just a big chicken. And that's okay. It's perfect. It'll be perfect. And we found that now that I have an Instant Pot, or electric pressure cooker, I guess I should call it, that works really well with wild turkey, putting it in with either turkey broth. Maybe you have some turkey stock that you made from like last year's turkey dinner.
I found another BB.
Mm-hmm. It works really well to put the turkey right into your electric pressure cooker, put it in with some turkey stock, even chicken broth works or something like that, and then just cook it down. It's hard for me to say how long. I usually start with about 40 minutes, and then when that amount of time passes and I open it up, I kind of check the turkey and see, is it as tender as I want it? If not, then I put it in for maybe another 20 minutes or so. So anyway, it just works really well. Then I usually will take all that meat off of the bone. Well, he breasts it out, but like the legs, I take that meat off the bone and we kind of chunk it up, and then we'll usually use it for like turkey and gravy over mashed potatoes. Or another thing I'll do is kind of chunk it up, and then I'll make like Thanksgiving stuffing or dressing, and I'll do half on the bottom, put the turkey in the middle, put some cream of chicken soup over it, or make some like turkey gravy out of turkey stock or something, put more stuffing over the top, and then pop it in the oven and just kind of let it all get nice and hot. And I kind of like the stuffing to get a little crunchy on the edges, but that's another good thing to do with wild turkey. What we have going here tonight, it is after 7 o'clock. Warren and Peter did all of the cutting the meat off the bone of the deer today. And I have a couple of the bowls in here right now. So this is all
Hamburger.
That's going to be hamburger.
These here are mini roasts, and underneath those there's tenderloins.
And tenderloins. So I will be packaging up these mini roasts here, and some of this, like right here, this is a little firm. I'm actually going to trim that off. This was Peter's first time cutting all the mini roasts, and I think he did a great job. I will say that some of this I am going to trim off just a little bit right here. And this is a hamburger meat. We have two other enormous. Warren's bringing it in right now. So of course my battery died before. Warren was just bringing in all of the meat. And let me just show you our setup here. So we have this lem grinder, and they cut the pieces of meat into like good sizes to fit the opening here. And then we just start grinding. We have this whole system set up. And then I know I say this all the time, they say ground beef, but it was because this giant box of 1,000 was way cheaper than buying the bags of, I think it was like packages of 25 for the ones that say wild game. Just wait, okay? Hold on, you guys. Everyone gets so excited to do this part. We turn it on and fill these bags up. I always like to fill them up to about the 2-pound mark. And then Warren is over here, and he is using the little tape dispenser, which...
I'm the third Mandrell sister.
third Mandrell sister.
This is Jennifer's operation, and she's got it down to a science. So I do what I'm told. And
Basically, it wasn't quite working. I said, you got to run it through twice. On both the second or third try, it's going to work. So anyway, then he has a laundry basket over here. Warren weighs them out right here on our scale, marks the year, and what did you do? And the pounds. So, and then we'll go and put those in the freezer. It's important when you put your meat in the freezer to space it out and only have it one layer deep so that it freezes quickly and you don't like get like warm spots. You don't want warm spots in the middle of the meat. That takes too long to freeze. Also going, I am making tomato soup. So I made a big pot of this same recipe for supper and it turned out well. So since we had more tomatoes, this is the last of them for this year. I'm so happy. But I thought I would make some more tomato soup and I won't add the milk to it so that I can can it. And this is basically the recipe that Becky from Acre Homestead shared at her scratchpantry.com website. And that is the recipe that I followed pretty much the way she had it written. I do think I used a little less salt than what was listed in the recipe. And I did not add the sugar. We thought it was fine without the sugar. This is also going on the stove, so at some point when this is all cooked down, I will be canning that up as well. Alright, so at this point now, all of the hamburger has been packaged, and that was a really great deer, 45 pounds of hamburger.
Just hamburger. We still have to do the mini roasts and the tenderloins.
Yep, I'm going to go in and start working on that and see if I can, how hard I have to work to get Peter to do dishes.
Oh, that's going to be hard.
So we pretty much, not pretty much, but we got everything cleaned up from all of the meat cutting and just all of that. Got the meat packaged. I washed up a whole bunch of pint jars and just a couple quart jars, and I'm starting in here, well, I'm already partway through getting ready to can up the tomato soup. So since the recipe does call for milk, I have read mixed reviews on canning with milk, and so I'm not canning with milk. It just sounded like it was just not an approved ingredient. So what I'm doing then is just canning up the tomato soup just like this without any cream or milk. And what I will do when I serve this, or when I heat it up for us, like, you know, on a Friday or something, we'll have grilled cheese, tomato soup and grilled cheese, which actually we had that just tonight for supper. Then what I'll do is when I open this and put it in a kettle to warm it, I will just add probably about maybe half of a jar of half and half, or if I happen to have whipping cream, I'll do a little less than that. Anyway, I just need to add some milk, and then I always could add a couple pinches of brown sugar if I wanted to do that. But here's what I do. I just put about 3 ladles in my blender, and then I blend it up. Now it is a hot liquid, so you really have to know how much liquid you can put in your blender so that it doesn't explode. See, look at that. The first, I got too much in anyway, and it started to come out, and that isn't good because it's a hot liquid and it'll spray everywhere. So anyway, on mine, I can put about this much hot liquid in, and I just whirl it around, and I just keep filling jars. And the nice thing is if you have a high-powered or a high enough powered blender, then you can actually, it just blends the skins, the seeds, the onions, it just blends it all. So it's just a nice smooth consistency. I haven't ever canned tomato soup before, so I do have to go and look up the directions. I'm pretty positive that it needs to be pressure canned, but I just don't know the time, and honestly I don't know the exact headspace. I might have to adjust this a little bit, but I did want to show you this Denali Canning. This is, I believe, a fairly newer company out there. They actually sent me these lids and just said, hey, give them a try. I did some searching on YouTube already just to see what other people thought, and the reviews on YouTube seem to be slightly mixed, although their website, the reviews are super great. I want to say like thousands and thousands and thousands of 5-star reviews. So anyway, I'm going to give them a try. I mean, they look good. I like the impression on the lid. The rubber feels good. Actually feels a little bit soft. I'd have to pull out some other lids, but anyway, I'm going to give these a try and see what I think about them. Okay, so what I found out by looking online is that I need 1-inch headspace as well as some citric acid or lemon juice added. It did not say how much, so I put between 1 to 2 tablespoons of lemon juice in each quart jar, and a tablespoon, or just a scant tablespoon in the pint jars. I brought up my pressure canner. I also found out that for my altitude, I need to can these at 15 pounds of pressure for 15 minutes. So we're just gonna get this started here. It's 9:14. But we'll get this done. I want to definitely get this project wrapped up tonight, so I'll watch for my little vent here. This little steam vent needs to vent steam for 10 minutes. Once that happens, I will put my weight on, and I will put it on the 15-pound mark. And as soon as it starts to jiggle, I will set my timer. I'll turn the heat down, set my timer, and let it gently rock away about 4. I'll let it do about 4 rock, 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 kind of things like that. About 4 of those per minute is kind of the goal. And once 15 minutes is up, I will turn off the heat and just let it sit there until the pressure goes all the way down. That is important. You don't want to take the weight off or try to open it. You could have an explosion, and you don't want an explosion during the day, and you surely don't want one when it's like 10 o'clock at night by the time this project is going to be done. So anyway, that's kind of like where I'm at right now. Well, typically, as soon as I start bringing the jars out, I will start having a couple of the lids pop. I haven't had any lids pop yet, so we will see. We will see how these lids work out. I hope they seal, because otherwise this is going to be a lot of work that's going to have to be redone. So we are about 48 hours post tomato soup making. And I just took all the rings off, labeled it so I know exactly what's in here, because I had to label it because, well, Emily was over today and she's like, oh, did you make pumpkin pie filling? And I said, no, it's actually tomato soup. I noticed that with homemade tomato soup, and maybe it's because this recipe has a lot of caramelized onion in it, and so that maybe takes away from some of the redness of the tomatoes, but it's definitely much lighter in color than what I remember my mom serving me as a child. Like when, you'd have Campbell's tomato soup, it seemed like it was very, very red. Although Warren commented to me that it was probably because they put some sort of red dye in it or something. But anyway, I'm going to get this stuff down on the shelf, and I'm going to wrap up this video. It's been going since Monday morning when Warren first got when he first got that buck, and it's just been a good long week of preserving food, wrapping up. Well, we're not wrapped up. We still have cranberries that we have to sort through, and we still have apples that we need to take care of. But it was just a good long week of just preserving food, getting things on the pantry shelves, the canning shelves, getting things in the freezer. And I hope that you guys enjoy this, and it helps you to get a little inspiration to take on some of these projects for yourself. So if you got some value out of this, give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.